What's up, squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see what's going down. Y'all see what's going down. One thing about it, definitely apologize for having so many late uploads. It definitely has been busy. But I love, it's a lot of people. You'd be surprised, how many people, are up or just now getting up, for certain things. So definitely think it's cool. I like the times. If y'all don't like the times, I can drop at a different time. So just let me know in the comments down below. But y'all know I got y'all. But one thing about it, you got Ilhan Omar. Says here, okay, so we know Ilhan Omar married her brother, allegedly. All alleged, I have to say that, was fraudulently elected on a fake winery worth $30 million through, dirty money, involved in mass Somali fraud, and of course, doesn't like the U.S. People have the same question on why is she still here? Why is she still around? Truly. And I ask that all the time. You got it right here. Says Ilhan Omar is breaking down after fraud investigations and her latest staged assault. So you have Ilhan Omar post right here. Says, and she said, I didn't do any of those things because I fear losing my dignity more than I fear losing my life. Something you coward losers will never understand, so F off. So one thing about it is you can definitely tell, when an individual knows that things are crashing down on them. You can definitely tell, especially, within the things that I'll be showing y'all tonight. But you truly have, so many things that she's currently going through each and every day because of the choices that she's made. You can definitely tell. We obviously see, she's saying, something about losing her life when it's clearly, apple cider vinegar. Clearly, so much of being staged, as they say. We all see that. I mean, I showed y'all yesterday. Clearly see it. This is posted by Carrie Lake. Say Ilhan Omar committed fraud to get in America. In many ways, she's the poster child for the massive fraud ripping through Minnesota. Minnesota's welcomed Somalis with open hearts. They didn't sign up to get robbed blind. That's where the outrage belongs. That's what the protest should be about. Everyone in this scam, including Omar, must be held accountable. Check it out.
My presence here should tell you that the fear and intimidation doesn't work on me. The president's rhetoric, the attacks from him since I've gotten into public office from the right wing has always been really to stop me from being in public service, to intimidate me, to make me want to quit. And my only message is it hasn't worked thus far and it's not going to work in the future.
This awful woman comes here as a refugee, hates the country, criticizes it nonstop, wants to fundamentally change it into something that probably mirrors where she came from. That's her reaction to it. Go ahead.
Well, my message to her as an American woman is you lied when you came into this country. You lied when you married your brother.
Exactly.
You lied on your documents, and perhaps you should have never gotten citizenship. And now the fraud is breathtaking in Minnesota, and you've not spoken out. You've not spoken out against that fraud. And there's a lot of questions we have, and I think we need to really focus in on Ilhan. We need to focus in on other people in her community. The Minnesota people, the residents of Minnesota, this was forced on them. They never agreed to this. A bunch of politicians and NGOs forced this upon them. And we are sick of paying taxes and having our tax dollars robbed. We're being robbed blind. And if she's lied on any of it, we need to deport her immediately.
Yeah.
We need to look at election fraud that could be happening in Minnesota and examine this. We can't let what's happening, the peaceful protests, to take us off the focus of the fraud that is being, that is occurring in Minnesota and frankly all over this country. We've got to get to the bottom of it. Anybody who's been committing fraud needs to be held accountable, even if that means being deported from this country.
Exactly.
It is something else. Carrie Lake, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Definitely. And I truly agree with everything, that, she said, truly with everything. Not only Carrie Lake, but you have Tom Homan. Tom Homan confirms all illegal aliens in Minnesota remain eligible for deportation, not just the ones with the criminal record. So there's a lot of people that, have that and think, and, talking about it saying, oh, well, it seems like, President Trump and the Trump administration that they're letting, these individuals slide. I'm pretty sure it was, I seen a post with Megyn Kelly even saying that, and truly, I don't see that. I definitely don't see that. Tom Homan, made that comment that says prioritizing does not mean they're off the table, and meaning by that, is what it's not just those with a criminal record, meaning a horrible criminal record with what y'all seeing. It's everyone. And that's what people, obviously aren't understanding. Somebody even comment down here and it says that includes Ilhan Omar, which truly does. Check
Definition
it out.
now.
All operations will be targeted, but the prioritization are going to be criminal aliens, public safety threats, and national security threats. I've met with Marcos and his staff. We got to allow them. We got to allow them to keep us busy. So that would be our focus.
But that is enough that's what. There is not going to be a focus on people who have no other crimes except for their status.
If you're in the country illegally, you're never off the table. But prioritization doesn't mean you forget about everybody. So let me say this. If the message we send is you can enter this country illegally, it's a crime, don't worry about it. You can have your due process, show up in court, not show up in court, get ordered moved, don't worry about it. Unless you commit a serious crime, you're good to go. If that's the message we send to the world, you're never going to fix this problem. The most vulnerable people in the world will make that dangerous journey like they did under the Joe Biden administration. Over 4,000 aliens died making that journey. And again, a significant increase in sex trafficking. Because when they did that and opened those borders up saying, we're not going to detain you, we're going to give you free health care, we're going to fly you to the city of your choice, put you in a free hotel room, give you 3 meals a day, and give you work authorization, we're just going to bring you in. And when they did that, they sent a message to the whole world, you can come and do this. And what happened? They overwhelmed the men and women of the Border Patrol, where many days 70% of agents were pulled off that line. 70%. You don't think the criminal cars had a field day with that? They created gaps.
Telling you. So if that's the message we're saying, you will never fix this problem. So y'all clearly see, that, it's no sugarcoating. It's no beating around the bush when it comes down to it. Definitely is more so of action. Definitely more so action. You have right here, this Ilhan Omar is promoting a rapid response group in Minneapolis that doxes ICE agents and attacks them. This group also donates to illegals, which is definitely, pretty crazy to me. I feel like it's pretty crazy to me because they have all these things. And what I find that's even much wilder is the simple fact that a very, very big majority of these individuals that, have, when it comes down, mind you, they get plenty of assistance when it comes to food stamps, when it comes, and they're trying to make people feel sorry for them. They try to play this victim card with having the same individuals that's protesting, those same individuals that's in Minnesota that are donating to them. And that's what I find crazy, that they're doing so many things for these Somalians and they're not doing nothing but taking money from them. Truly don't get it. Check it out.
Hey, as many of you know, there is a rapid response that is being organized here in Minneapolis, especially South Minneapolis, because so many of our neighbors are scared. They feel terrorized, and I'm just so grateful. Neighbors like Melissa are out doing everything that they can. Melissa, tell them what you've been working on.
Yeah, so down here at DHH Church, we've been collecting your donations as so many of you have been showing up with physical and monetary donations. So please continue doing that. We have donation drops on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But so many of you have been showing up in so many other ways. And I just want to say, keep doing it. Stay strong. I know we're tired, but it's totally worth continuing to fight and standing up for our community.
Yeah, whatever. Truly lame and corny of what they're doing. It's truly sad and sickening that they're doing this. So President Trump has his post out, and Ilhan Omar has something to say about it. I reach out a post, that President Trump says, I'm sending Tom home in Minnesota tonight. He has not been involved in the area, but knows and likes many of the people there. Tom is tough but fair and will report directly to me. Separately, a major investigation is going on with respect to the massive $20 billion dollar plus welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota. and is at least partially responsible for the violent organized protests going on in the streets. Additionally, the DOJ and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Thank you for your attention to the matter, President DJT. So you literally have it, that, he has his post. And then you have Ilhan Omar that says, sorry, Trump, your support is collapsing and you're panicking. Trust and believe President Trump support isn't collapsing whatsoever. It's nothing but the Trump administration that are, clearly, pushing more and more to getting things done. On top of that, the support for President Trump is definitely huge. I'm not gonna lie. Says right on cue, you're deflecting from your failures with lies and conspiracy theories about me. Years of investigation have found nothing. Get your goons out of Minnesota. So one thing about it, Ilhan Omar is definitely scared, as you see, just by the post, that she's been posting recently. If y'all, and honestly, I'm not saying that y'all have oh yeah, just go check out Ilhan Omar X, and you will see clearly the her post and what she's saying. She clearly knows, that they're on to her. Ilhan Omar goes back on CNN with Caitlin Collins after, so-called getting sprayed, with apple cider vinegar, which is pretty wild, this whole thing. But one thing about it, it's pretty crazy. Not only she talks about that, she talks and mentions President Trump and all. Check it out right here.
He was just posting about you, truly 5 minutes ago, before we came on air. I was looking at Truth Social, and he had posted about you, and it reminded me of what he said when he announced that he was sending Tom Homan into Minneapolis. In that same post, he said, the Justice Department and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Were you aware there is a DOJ investigation here? The New York Times says it started in part under the Biden Justice Department into your financial disclosure forms, or into your finances and campaign spending. But were you aware that this Justice Department is looking into you?
No, but I'm not surprised. Over the years, there have been investigations with the FEC because people have filed complaints. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened in this case. And clearly, that investigation hasn't moved on because they don't have evidence of wrongdoing. And so I know that there's always been an attempt to smear my character, to smear the character of the community that I ethnically belong to. There's always this sort of sad reference to the fact that I'm a refugee. It seems like these people seem to have a problem with the fact that I am living the American dream. Yes, I was once a refugee. Yes, I did survive war. Yes, I did come to the United States when I was 12 years old, not speaking English. But I did make it to the United States of Congress, representing our country, helping write the laws of this country and helping appropriate the resources that are utilized by all Americans. So yes, that is the American dream. They do not believe that the American dream is possible. And I think the fact that I'm a visible representation of that American dream pisses them off.
I want to make sure I'm hearing this right.
American dream is possible, and I think the fact that I'm a visible representation of that American dream pisses them off.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, thank you.
I'm just saying, how does she represent? Her post says, from refugee camp to Congress, I represent the American dream, and that pisses Trump off. He's going to have to deal with it. And put the little nail, doing her nail emoji. I'm just confused on how possible, nothing about her is American. Nothing about the individuals, that's doing, nothing is American about her whatsoever. So I don't know what she's getting at or what she's trying to do, but people see straight through that. Truly. She has another post said the difference between the president and I is that I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion. He lacks both of those things. Somebody said, You were raised as a pirate and then married your brother. You should probably sit this one out. Definitely, I would say this, sit this one out. I'm not even gonna lie. Check it out, y'all.
Well, the difference between the president and I is that I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion. And he lacks both of those things. This is a president who presides over an administration that when they assassinated Renee Good, told us that she was a domestic terrorist that was trying to kill the federal agents. When they assassinated Alex Preddy, they told us that he was a domestic terrorist who burnished a weapon. None of those things are true. They are known to be liars. They have constantly told us not to believe in our eyes. Fortunately, both of those assassinations were caught on camera, and so was what happened to me last night, caught on camera.
So when he claims it's staged, you say?
Well, I mean, this is also somebody who was talking about me in his town hall in Iowa, and then seems to exhibit some sort of dementia when he says he doesn't think about me. Maybe it is time for us for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, because he certainly cannot remember what he said and has done an hour ago.
I'm not gonna lie, that whole situation, when I actually seen the video and seen the individual that clearly, as it being staged and like actually seeing Ilhan Omar's face and like her whole demeanor when that happened initially, at first I'm not gonna lie, I thought somebody actually, like me seeing that, I hit up Retro Stuff and I'm like, bro, somebody just put sprayed a substance on Ilhan Omar. What is this? It's crazy. And as I got to watching and you start seeing little things that was happening as it went on, and then even seeing the pictures of who he associates with, even Ilhan Omar, I'm telling y'all, definitely insane, y'all. Definitely insane. And she goes and she talks about these things, and saying this and saying that, speaking on Renee Good, speaking on, Alex. But then again, you go and look and see about Alex. Says President Trump posted a video of Pocahontas calling Alex Preddy, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right, a saint, with the video of him acting like radicalized domestic, I can't say certain words on here, on True Social today, which is very, very crazy. Just check this out.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even trying to be funny. Somebody did, in fact, lose their life. But right when she said, it's just the timing. I feel like it's the timing. Right here, she said the light is there. The light is not there. He kicked it out.
Even at the very end, that light was there.
It's kicked out. It's definitely kicked out. And I feel like, it's one of those things, you just got to leave that there. You got to leave that there. The light is clearly out. He kicked the light out, and that's just what it is. I'm not trying to be funny whatsoever. It's just true. I feel like it's the bad timing. They don't even know the timing, when it comes down to it. I guess, I just don't know. I truly, you have an individual doing this. And it's definitely sad, that they're making it seem like, he's just this, or he was this, this amazing guy. And don't get me wrong. I don't know how his lifestyle is, but judging by the videos, and the things that I've seen of what he was doing to ICE, and just seeing this video of him kicking the light out, it literally just goes to show you. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to every single last one of y'all. Catch y'all next one.